Welcome to Valhalla, a game wherein you play as a bartender in a cyberpunk dystopia where the government's corrupt, everyone has potentially deadly nanomachines in their blood for some reason, and robots will not only take your jobs, they'll take your love interests too. But you know what I think would really make for the proverbial olive in the martini of this situation? Prohibition. But as a bartender, can we really make that happen? Is it possible to beat Valhalla without serving any alcohol? So the rules are pretty simple. We need to beat the game without serving alcohol. But what exactly does that mean from a moment-to-moment gameplay perspective? Well, the main gameplay of Valhalla consists of serving customers drinks that you mix together using various combinations of 5 ingredients. Adelhyde, Bronson extract, Powered Delta, Flanergide, and Carmatrine. Of those, Carmatrine is the one we're interested in. Or really, it's the one we're not interested in, I guess. This is because Carmatrine is the ingredient that makes a drink alcoholic, and therefore, if a drink does not contain Carmatrine, it's a non-alcoholic drink, and by extension, one that we can serve our customers. As long as we don't serve a single drink containing Carmatrine while achieving our goals, it'll be a successful challenge. But what exactly are our goals? Once again, we're dealing with a game that has multiple endings. So which ones exactly count as beating the game? For today, I'll say we've beaten the game if we can achieve any ending other than the one where our protagonist Jill is evicted on account of not paying her rents. And with the rules served up, it's time to get into the action and tend this bar. Day 1. Our first customer of the game isn't a customer. It's our coworker Jill. While his actual job is either bartending or busboy, today he's serving the role of tutorial manager. I've really grown a distaste for interactive tutorials within the last year or so. Don't get me wrong, I understand why developers use them, and the reason is rock solid. Ensure a player has actually learned a skill or mechanic that you're trying to teach them by forcing them to do it to advance the game. That way, no child gets left behind. Or really, I guess it's more of a progression of the fittest. Either way, they're annoying for my purposes. In this particular scenario, Jill is asking that we make him a sugar rush. Luckily for us, this drink is made mixing together 2 Adelhyde and 1 Powered Delta. You can add optional Carmatrine, but we're under no obligation to add it, and we won't, for obvious reasons. So yay! Tutorial navigated without issues. Go us. Oh, he wants another drink. A Moon Blast, which is made using 6 Adelhyde, 1 Powered Delta, 1 Flanergide, and 2 Carmatrine. Darn. Drink number 2, and we're already forced to serve alcohol. This is a tutorial, so I imagine the game won't progress unless we get it right. What to do? I guess it can't hurt to try throwing a non-alcoholic drink at him. Here, have a crevice spike. Wait, did that actually work? He looks disappointed in us, but we get to progress, so what do I care what he thinks? On to the first real customer. Beer, you say? How about frothy water instead? Don't like it? Too bad. Another beer demanded, another frothy water delivered. 3 beers. Mr. Donovan, you're killing me here. Nevertheless, have yourself a fine, frothy water. Oh, boss, what's up? I got a game over. I didn't even know this game had game overs. Does messing up a certain amount of times in a day result in a game over? If so, we're going to be in trouble because, well, if that's the case, someone like this guy ordering 3 beers in a row is a run-ender. But is that the case? Let me take a closer look at the text leading up to the game over. Are you okay? You're not just spamming the easiest drinks, right? Perhaps it's not about getting the orders wrong. It's about how you get the orders wrong. Yes, if we serve more complex drinks like crevice spikes or gut punches instead of frothy water, then we can avoid this game over even if we get them all wrong. That is a relief. And that's day 1 over, with us taking home a total of $500 from our hard work. And while we're on the money screen, let's talk about finances. Our total take-home pay for a given day can come from a few different sources. The first one, and the one that is the only revenue stream we were able to exploit during day 1, would be the random bonuses our boss gives us out of the goodness of her heart. These generally range from the low to mid hundreds of dollars, and will be the same on any given day regardless of how well we actually do our job. We can also receive money in the form of commissions and tips. Commissions are paid as a percentage of the total amounts that customers paid for drinks that day. This means that we generally want to try to give a customer the most expensive drink that fits within the parameters of what they ordered. So, more money means more money. However, how big of a percentage the commission is depends on how many mistakes we made that day, bottoming out at a 0% commission if we manage to make 6 or more mistakes. As for tips, I don't exactly know how they're calculated, but I'm pretty sure that better service, i.e. not messing up orders, helps us get more tips. Finally, there's theoretically the flawless service bonus, which we can get if we have a perfect day not messing up a single order. Somehow, I doubt we'll be getting that one very often. But what is all this money for? Well, the short answer is not getting evicted. The long answer is that at the end of the game, if we don't have at least $10,000 to pay the rent, then we get evicted and end up with the one ending we're not counting as a win for this challenge. Also, we can use our money to buy items from the shop to keep Jill focused at work. We're not going to do that though, because all keeping Jill focused does is give us a reminder as to what exactly we're supposed to be doing while we're mixing the drinks. I guess we'll just have to rely on the ancient art of remembering things. Because we've got to save every penny we earn if we want even a slight chance of getting to $10,000 in time, when we're going to be messing up every alcoholic order at this bar. Day 2. Oh, it's Beer Man again. He has broadened his horizons slightly, but everything he orders is still alcoholic. What? Mars Blast? No, you want a crevice spike, clearly. Dorothy and Jamie at least order a non-alcoholic drink each, and the day is capped off on a high note, with CMeeCraft ordering 3 non-alcoholic beverages. Speaking of non-alcoholic beverages, we haven't touched on exactly how many of those there are, have we? Well, firstly, not counting secret or bottled drinks, there are 24 different drinks that we can make. Of those, the following are non-alcoholic: the Bleeding Jane, the Blue Fairy, the Crevice Spike, the Fluffy Dream, Frothy Water, the Gut Punch, the Sparkle Star, the Sugar Rush, and the Sunshine Cloud. For non-mathematicians out there, that is 9 out of 24 drinks that we can actually serve. That's only a bit more than a third of the drinks that a customer might order that we can actually deliver on. If they order one of the other 2/3, then we just throw up our hands and give them the wrong drink. Oh, and I don't think I've mentioned this before, but if we give someone the wrong drink, then not only does it count as a mistake and thus lower our commission percentage for the day, the customer also doesn't pay for the drink if we give them the wrong one, so it really stings that way too. Day 3. I had 9 orders today and 6 mistakes. You know, I wasn't expecting statistical probability to manifest itself so cleanly in practice, but here we are. Of course, the whole 6 mistakes thing means that we don't get a commission today. But I figured I'd touch on one tactic to try to maximize those commissions when the day comes that we actually receive them. The tactic is as follows: go big or go home. For most drinks, you can double the recipe to make a big variation, which will generally be accepted even if the customer didn't explicitly ask for it, and will generally be more expensive for the customer, which means, on days where we have a commission over 0%, we'll be able to squeeze a bit of extra cash out of it. Day 4. We get introduced to some cool characters today, like Art and Streaming Jan. But really the gameplay has fallen into a predictable and not too interesting status quo. If they happen to order a non-alcoholic drink, praise whatever deities are still worshipped in this future, and give them what they ordered, ideally as the big version if at all possible. Otherwise, just get them a Bleeding Jane or Gut Punch or something. It is worth noting that sometimes you don't have to give a customer what they ordered to make them happy. Some customers have a drink that they particularly like, and will at times be happy to receive it even if they ordered something else. The best example I can think of is that Dorothy can be like this with sugar rushes. Unfortunately, I most certainly do not know off the top of my head what every single circumstance under which you can give a customer a drink other than the one that they ordered and they'll be happy about it is. So let's just hope we aren't cutting it so close that it'll matter. Day 5. I'd like a single plum floating in perfume served in a man's hat. What? I guess technically we do have the means to serve that order, but that's technically a bottled drink, so I'm not sure if it's alcoholic or not. I believe some perfumes do actually contain alcohol. Better safe than sorry. No plums in perfumes and hats for you, sir. And after the day is done, I get to hang out with my boss. Cool. The game does give you the option to drink beer during this conversation, which I'm not sure if partaking in would technically qualify as serving alcohol. I'll abstain just to be safe. And that ends Chapter 1. At this point, the strategy has been codified, and all that remains for the rest of the game is executing it as flawlessly as possible. We're routinely making at least a few $100 a day, and desperately hoping that somehow that'll end up as enough money to pay rent. Ultimately, we're at the game's mercy now. There's a real possibility that there simply isn't enough money to win without serving alcohol. There are only so many orders, and only a certain locked-in number of them can refer to non-alcoholic drinks, and this is no Mario Party where we can just wait for RNG to eventually come through for us. Either enough cash is on the table now, or there will never be. Let's find out which scenario we're dealing with. Day 17. It's the day before rent is due. If I don't get to $10,000 today, then I will be evicted and end up with the one ending that isn't a win. I currently have $7,079.50. Essentially, I need to somehow make $3,000 today, or I lose, and this challenge is failed. I'm not optimistic, but I'm not one to concede either. If I'm going to lose this, I'm going to go down swinging. Let's mix some drinks. First customer of the day is Mr. Donovan, asking for 3 alcoholic drinks. Not a great start to the day. Our next customer, Kiramiki, can be sated with a blue fairy, a sunshine cloud, and a sparkle star, all of which are non-alcoholic. The third patron of the day, Stella, wants a Bleeding Jane followed by a Brandtini, and then something classic, which I interpret as another Bleeding Jane. The Bleeding Janes are no problem. Unfortunately, I can't serve a Brandtini, but hey, 2 out of 3 is not bad. And Alma, our final customer of the day, orders 1 drink that I can actually give her, a Sugar Rush. Which leaves us earning $800 today, a far cry from the $3,000 we needed. That means we're getting evicted and have failed the challenge. We could try again, because I don't think I played perfectly. But I also don't think I left over $2,000 on the table. Unfortunately, I must conclude that it is not possible to beat Valhalla without serving any alcohol. Shockingly, alcohol is actually pretty important to a bar's bottom line. And on that topic, you know what's important to my bottom line? You commenting on and liking this video. or perhaps even subscribing to the channel as a whole and watching some of the other challenges I've attempted. I've built quite the library by now, so if you like this, there should be something that appeals to you. But anyways, guys, until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, and I'll catch you in the next one of these challenges. Hopefully, in one where I won't be taking the L. Goodbye.
New Game Plus.
New Game Plus! It's not over, guys. After you get any ending in Valhalla, including the one where you get evicted, you get to save a New Game Plus save file. The New Game Plus file allows you to start over from the beginning of the game while carrying over all the stuff and, importantly for our purposes, money that you acquired over the course of your playthrough. That means we can try again, but this time instead of starting out flat broke, we can start with nearly $9,000. As a reminder, rent is $10,000. All we've got to do now is get through the game by mashing the spacebar as fast as I know how, while hopefully not contracting carpal tunnel syndrome in the process, and gaining at least $1,000 along the way. Easy, right? Well, there is one complication. The electric bill. This bill comes out to being $8,000. Last time we didn't really have to concern ourselves with it because at the time it came, we only had a bit over $4,000, so there was no chance to pay it even if we wanted to. This time, however, we're approaching it with a bit over $13,000. So we could pay it, but I'd honestly rather not, as paying it would put us a bit over $5,000. About $1,000 up from where we were at this point last time, which isn't enough given how we fell about $2,000 short of affording to pay rent last time. Luckily, the solution is quite simple. Just blow through enough money to bring you down to slightly below $8,000 the day before the bill is due, and intentionally mess up all the orders to avoid gaining more money. And voila! Now I've got slightly less than $8,000 coming out of electric bill day because technically we couldn't afford to pay it. Now it's back to quick spacebar mashing easy mode until our inevitable victory, thus proving that with just a bit of time travel, it is possible to beat Valhalla without serving any alcohol. And until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, you remember the calls to action from earlier, and I'll catch you in the next challenge. Goodbye.